front to back. Watch as they go up and down the pack. Please enjoy the racing at its best. Battles wage from first to last. The action is wall to wall. GT45 covers it all. We're all here to be entertained. These drivers go hard and not restrained. Cheer for your favorite, you will not regret. The spectacle you watch, you will never forget. Please enjoy the racing at its best. Battles wage from first to last. The action is wall to wall. GT45 covers it all. GT45 covers it all. Oh. 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 Please enjoy the racing at its best. Battles wage from first to last. The action is wall to wall. GT45 covers it all.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. We'll be on the way here just shortly. All right. So, 22 hours almost in the books here, ladies and gentlemen. That means there's 2 hours left. This is a dash to the checkered flag at this point here now. And the drivers have done the best they can to get their teams in the best positions they can. Get those gaps as closed up as they can. Keep the car in the best final stint condition that they can. And now I suspect we're going to see most of the teams just send it. And we'll have to wait and see how all that plays out here over the next couple hours. But this will be the final racing stint of the weekend. And this will be a race to the checkered flag to crown our 2026 Nurburgring 24-hour winners. Alright, so we're just on the formation lap right now. And we're just waiting for the racers in the previous lobby being streamed by Jack to bring those cars into pit lane and transition over to the final drivers of the weekend. going down. Building right now. A great shot coming down the back stretch there with all 12 cars sitting there. I like it. I like it. Alright, so our race leader brings it into the pit box, getting ready for the driver transition. Pickers getting very anxious there. They're restless, waiting to do their job here to get this 224 car out for this final stint here. Alright, we should be getting close here. Should be seeing that 224 car taking off shortly. Of course, I'm just going by the clock here. I am not watching the previous stream at the moment. So for those of us that are just tuning in, we are just in a driver swap transition here. So basically what's happening is there is a lobby running right now, and this 224 car that we see on the screen has a driver currently on track racing. Once that driver brings it into pit lane and fully stops in its pit box in its respective lobby, this car will take off on our screen. At that point, we will switch it over to the full screen for everybody and bring the race home and call it a 24 hours of Nurburgring here today. So a very long weekend for everybody involved, the teams, the racers, the staff, the volunteers, broadcasters, and you guys, the gals, the fans. So we appreciate all the support throughout the whole racing weekend, and well, don't run away just quite yet, because we're not quite there. We're almost there, not quite there. Good morning, North America, and good afternoon to the UK, and good evening all the way over on the eastern side of the world. Covering all the time zones here at the International Racing Organization, and it's only fitting since we have races from all over the world competing here at the International Racing Organization, and not only competing from all over the world, but at the highest possible level here in Gran Turismo 7 as well. So we're very fortunate to be here and broadcast these amazing racers behind the wheel of these cars, and here we go. 2 hours remaining. Hours 21 and 22 now in the books, and it is NWR Motorsports leading the charge. Apologize for the sirens in the background. There was some craziness happening down in the parking lot of my apartment building here, and it appears that the cops and an ambulance have been called, so there's sirens going off. If you do hear them in the background, I do apologize. I closed my window, so hopefully that helps. God forbid I get a little bit of cool air to help the old eyes stay open for the next couple hours. It's 5 o'clock in the morning here, so bear with. Hopefully you guys can't hear that anymore. Guys, we have a large homeless issue where I live right now, and it gets a little crazy sometimes, especially on the weekends, it seems. So this is one of those moments, apparently. All right, so big screen coming up next. Bobbing. Let's get racing, ladies and gentlemen. The 224 car in the racing lead. And, sketchy entry. Race first. One of the hardest working members of the IRO team here. Every single racing weekend and in between the racing weekends as well. So let's get some hearts up in the chat for Ray, because she really does put it all out there every single time that these gentlemen get on the racetrack to put on a show for the fans. So much love to Ray. Definitely appreciate everything she does and brings to the IRO. And we are seeing some lag coming from our race leader here. That has me, a little jittery. But a minute 33 is the gap here for 224 over the OVO Esports, our current championship points leaders, coming into the mid-season race here this weekend. And, minute 32 was 2 minutes when I left it just a couple hours ago, so they have chipped away at that lead of that 224 Ferrari. So OVO Esports again showing their strengths here so far in this championship, and a couple of small mistakes here early on in the race. Other than that, still sitting really strong in second place. So moving and grooving is that 111 car here from OVO Esports, and just cool, calm, collected these guys are. But definitely with a goal in mind, and the goal in mind is to be the 2026 GTEC Championships, and they made that very clear in our reporting interviews here throughout the season as well. So, you know, they put it out there in black and white what they're here to do, and it's basically up to the rest of the field to respond to that black and white statement that we are here to win the championship. That's it. And I'm sure that our defending champions, the number 1 car of the esports races on team, would have something to say about that. But it has been a couple of rough racing weekends for them leading up into the 24-hour here today. So it's going fairly well here at the end of the race here this weekend for them. Hopefully that trend will continue for the number 1 car. Looking for a podium finish at bare minimum, I'm sure, here today is that number 1 car as well to start moving forward in the point standings here towards this 111 car as well. So the 224 car has done everything they can so far this weekend to help out that points chase towards that 111 car, and that is by basically leading the race for a solid half the race at least here at this point, and they have been in control of the race for at least 12 hours here now this weekend. So hey, how's it going? And it was about a 3-minute gap, and I left it from second to third place. So it will take a minute here for us to see our next group of drivers get out on the racetrack. As a little bit of a separation there. Go Rotax, go my team, and we got my team esports in the house right now. Definitely showing the love. Definitely showing love to 54 Porsche crew is in the house. Hope you guys have been enjoying the racing weekend here this weekend. It's definitely been a spicy, tough weekend out there. The Nurburgring 24-hour always provides difficult racing no matter what the weather conditions are, and it's thrown a little bit of everything at the drivers here this weekend. A lot of overcast, cloudy conditions as well. So it's made for cooler track conditions here this weekend for the racers. Up until the last few hours here, the sun is really starting to shine as we get into the I guess dinner time hours here at the Nurburgring GP by now. Alright, now second track limit penalty here for our race leader. We've been seeing him carrying that since the beginning part of the lap, so a little bit of a rough start there, but it's line out second penalty. It ain't gonna make or break, I don't think, the race for these guys here today, but definitely a little bit of lag happening there from our race. A little bit of jittering coming potentially from everybody here. Maybe I'm the one that's lagging a little bit, which is entirely possible, I suppose. Alright, so it is the number 1 car that's going to come out third here, and it is 4 minutes and 17 seconds to second place, but at the end of the day, the number 1 car definitely needed a podium finish here to, again, just remind everybody why they got to number 1 on the side of their car from last season, and a good strong run here, but it's only 31 seconds to the 73 BMW in behind currently right now, so not an insurmountable gap. We've seen the number 1 car close the gap a little bit larger than that up on the 73 car just a couple hours ago. So anything is most certainly possible here at the Nurburgring 24-hour. We still have 2 hours of racing, which means 2 hours of unpredictable weather, and anything can happen. Pit stop error, a fuel miscalculation, just a momentarily lapse of judgment while driving around the racetrack to cause just a mistake. Anything can happen. And we're going to watch and we're going to see if any of it happens. Because that's what we do. Alright, so 224 is going to serve that penalty there. But again, no harm, no foul. A minute and a half gap right now to second place. And then from there, the 111 car has a half lap gap to the next nearest car, which is the number 1 car, who's also going to pick himself up a nice juicy half-second penalty in the very early parts of his lap, and will serve that at the end of the lap as well. So that is, again, not going to break the bank there for the number 1 car, but not ideal. Never ideal to have a penalty. We got the Elite Racing Squad 73 BMW here now. Again, 32 seconds in behind that podium. Let's see if they can chase it down and go and get it back. There's been a great race here for the 73 car here today. One of very few non-Porsche cars in the field here at the 24-hour Nurb. And we got 2 BMWs, 2 Ferraris, and 8 Porsches here today on the racetrack. So Porsche is definitely in the lead of the race, but the BMW has shown to be very strong here today as well. Last in, let's go. Good luck all catching flexies. Well, you never know. You just never know, man. We've seen some of the top drivers in the sport make big mistakes already today, so anything is possible. You just never know. But I mean, really, in reality, the only one that has a shot at catching first place at this point is the 111 car here. I don't think that any of the drivers have that big of a magic hat to pull out that gap back, but racing is racing. We say it all the time, we really do. The number 27 Inferno Motorsports BMW now out on track here, 23 seconds right now on the live timing. We'll give it a lap here for those that most likely correct itself to a proper live timing for us. We could be seeing misinterpreted information from the tower right now as the drivers are just starting to put in laps here. So our number 20 Project 1 Racing Porsche here currently sitting in 7th position, 27 seconds in behind that 27 car. And you can see the tires are a little slippery on this hot racing surface here when they first come out of pit lane. So it takes probably about the GP circuit, in my opinion, to get enough heat in the tires and really start feeling the tires underneath of these cars. So it should be, by the time they hit the Nordschleife, they should have scrubbed in tires essentially. Vitality did a great stint in. Excellent. Well, now it's all or nothing, right? I mean, the drivers have done everything they can to give their team, the teams have done everything they can, and the drivers have done everything they can to put their cars in the best position they can on the racetrack at this point. So, now it comes down to a decision. What's the game plan here for the last 2 hours? Are we going to come in, we're going to stick to our plan, we're just going to keep doing what we've been doing all race long, or are we going to absolutely send it and just see what happens, right? I mean, those are the 2 options you got at this point now. The gaps are fairly large in a lot of cases here right now around the racetrack, so it's a tough call to make. It all comes down to who you got behind the wheel of the car and how they're feeling, how the car is feeling in this particular moment around the racetrack. Is really going to determine who's going to really push and who's just going to stick with the game plan. All right, the 54 car here, My Team Esports. So we've got a bunch of the crew in the house here right now watching the race here, and they are currently sitting in 8th place, 1 minute and 31 seconds behind that number 20 car, and they have been up and down throughout the mid part of this race here, mid-pack throughout the race here today is what I've been trying to say. Spit it out, man. And they've been looking really good. The car looks good. We can actually see the liveries here, I think, this time around. Knock on wood. We haven't seen all the cars come out yet, but so far so good. We're 8 for 8 on actually seeing what the cars look like here at the 24 Hours of Nerve this 2026 calendar season. Back to the race later here. Alright, so the solution to waking ourselves back up for this final stint was literally cranking the AC in my house for the last hour, freezing myself to death. It was working out great, so great call. It was really hot in my house. I think that's what was definitely not helping last stint. The 30-degree internal temperature of my house was making me a little drowsy. More so than usual, so I apologize for the lack of commentary in the last stint, as we were just tired and just fighting it, We were just zoned out, kind of watching the race more than we were doing our job, so my apologies, but we'll make up for it here this last stint like we always do. We'll be following this up, I believe, with podium interviews as well here today, so we always like to talk to the top 3 teams, see what they have to say. Well, I mean, you never know what they're going to say. That's the best part about it, right? Alright, so gaps aren't really changing here yet. We gotta really essentially wait for all of the drivers to be able to pit lane and moving on the racetrack for it to fully correct itself. And then we are getting there. So the 66 car Finland racing team now out on track, 9th place here, 2 minutes and 20 seconds in behind the My Team Esports 54 car. And we'll see what that gap is to the next car out. I'm not sure which one it's going to be, in all honesty. The number 7 car obviously having some technical malfunctions or technical issues here today again, and falling down through the field here. So tough day, tough weekend for some of the teams, and not such a tough weekend for others. But the 224 car is ooh, makes a mistake there. Definitely makes a mistake there. It's a big mistake, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. That is not what we want to see from our race leader, but as race fans, we want to see that tighten up, and we want to see a good battle for the race lead. So an opportunity knocks right there for our number 111 car. That was a big moment right there for the 224 car, and oof. You hate to see it. He just got a little too much on the curbing there. The car snapped. You just couldn't keep it underneath of him, and that was it. He was just a long ride at that point. And I don't want to add torture to the NWR Motorsport team right now, but we got to take another look. He just got a little high-centered on that carousel. He came out, caught a little bit of the curb on a slide, and then the curb hooked the front end of the car, and he was just absolutely trying so hard to keep that thing in a straight line. And, well, some front end damage on it. You cursed it. You cursed it. Yeah, I mean, racing is racing. You didn't curse any. If anything, I probably cursed it because I probably somehow it'll fall on me. Commentators curse. It always happens that way. All right, so we'll have to wait for the live time to correct itself here. But that gap is most certainly going to be right around a minute 10. I'm thinking right now that was a good solid 20-second time loss right there. So a little bit of hope there for the 111 car right now. And that's going to require a pit stop, unfortunately, too, I would assume, for the 224 car there. And that's going to cost an additional 30 to 40 seconds in pit lanes. So how quickly things have changed here in this race. Just like that. I mean, we have hour 50 minutes left in this race still. And the story has just had a plot twist. Alright, Elite Racing squad here is in 4th place right now, 34 seconds in behind the number 1 car, losing just a smidge of time right now on racetrack. We've got the 303 Porsche here in 5th place now, and 1 minute 29 seconds in behind the Elite Racing squad BMW. I'm not sure what happened to our 303 car last stint. Did they have a technical malfunction? So the 27 car is looking to get the lap back here from the 224 car as they go around the racetrack, and the number 27 in front of Motorsports car is going to indeed get that lap back from the race leader there with that mistake that they made. So now back on the lead lap officially here is that 27 car, and there's going to be a pit stop most likely being made here by our race leader. Are we going to see him peel? We are going to see him peel. He's going to get the front end of that car fixed up, going to get a new front nose, get that thing out on track and start trying to work back on that gap. Now, keeping in mind, 224 cars been in the lead of this race for over half the race. They've been in control of the pace of the race. So we'll have to see how they handle that. A little bit of a tense moment on the racetrack, because that is definitely a 50-second burner right there as far as time loss goes, I think. It is Mehdi Hafidi here behind the wheel to finish it off for the esports races on number 1 car here as well. He put in an amazing stint number 10 there, grabbing a couple of very crucial positions there leading into stint number 11, and now they've got that car up into the podium here in 3rd place. But 4 minute 17 second gap is a massive hill to climb for any driver on the racetrack, so we'll see how it goes. For the number 1 car here, but it's still sitting strong there in third place. 35 seconds is the gap to the 73 car, the Elite Racing Squad here. They've got a minute and a half to get over the 303 Porsche here. It's been a fantastic race for these guys. They were there, they had been sitting battling for that podium all race long, and it's unfortunate to see that they're a minute and a half behind here right now, the fourth place driver, but again, racing is racing, and I mean that's what happens. That's why you just never ever give. And it is the 111 car currently fastest car on the racetrack with that 801.604, and the 27 car now coming around here with 21 seconds behind the 303 and 27 seconds ahead of the number 20 Project 1 Racing Porsche here. So Project 1 Racing car here has been doing a real great job climbing back through the field. It is down in P11, stint number 2, and now here in stint number 12 they've worked their way up into P7, so they've gained 4 overall positions from whatever happened at the beginning of the race, and are looking pretty strong here, and still potential for another position up ahead there, maybe with that 27 BMW there as well. Alright, my team, Esports here, the 54 Porsche on the racetrack is sitting 1.5 minutes in behind that number 20 car currently, but has 2 minutes and 20 seconds to the good over in the GT Finland Racing Porsche behind the 66 car. So really not too much to worry about in behind them right now. The focus is trying to see if they can cut into that minute and a half gap. Again, lots of big hills to climb here for the racers, but we've already seen one mistake so far in the stint here, and you just never know. You just never know. Alright, 66 GT Finland Racing car here. The Porsche 992 is sitting in 9th place with sitting in no man's land here for the last couple of hours. It's actually 2 minute 20 second ahead and 5 minutes in behind with the sector 7 car. So the number 7 car is now out on track, 5 minutes in behind 9th place there. Definitely not how these guys were hoping today was going to go, this weekend was going to go, but they got the car still running, they got it out on track, still rolling, and we'll see what they can do with it here now. It is ultimately looking like it's going to be a 10th place at best for these guys here this weekend, but again, we just never know. And that takes us down into our QRT Esports car, and y'all finally get to see the car. Look at that, we're finally seeing what it looks like here. My goodness, GT7, thank you for letting us see the love. We appreciate it. 44 seconds in behind the number 7 Sector 7 racing team here right now, and a couple of laps down from the overall racing leader. So this will not be what we've been seeing all weekend long. We're at the with a lap left remaining on the lap counter. We're going to see these drivers coming to pit lane. We are not going to see that here. We're going to see a checkered flag here, and that will be our 24 hours in Nurburgring today. We will be crowning our race winners unofficially here in less than 2 hours time now, and then we'll have a little chit chat with some of the drivers, or some of the teams, our top 3 teams here from the racing weekend as well. Post-race, of course. Oh, we're even getting to look at the Portugal All-Stars Ferrari now. Look at that, GT7 decided to bless us here at the end of the day. Imagine that. And there we go, the number 4 car is now out. Ferrari is on track and roughly 2 minutes 20 seconds in behind the 11th place car there. So, you know, we kept saying all day long, especially with the QRT car, you just gotta keep your head down, you just gotta keep pushing forward, you just never know, there's always positions to be gained, anything could happen up in the front of the field, and most certainly lots of things have happened up in front of those guys here today, and right now, currently up in position from where they were on the racetrack early on in the race. So I mean, it's not much, but it's still a position, it's still points gained, and it's still all that effort and all that work with something to show for it. And even though it seems so small and minuscule in the grand scheme of things here today, that's a small W, and small W's definitely count for momentum in the forward direction, in my personal opinion anyways. So after everything is said and done here with our race leader, the 224 car, after the spin, the contact with the wall, getting the car corrected back up to racing pace, and then pitting and fixing the damage, they have a 35-second gap. So exactly 1 minute lost here for our race leaders in that incident. And then that's why I said you just never know in racing, because that very comfortable, controlled gap that they had here in the race lead is now just a cushion of 35 seconds here at the Nurburgring GP, and definitely a tense moment here, I'm sure, in that garage right now for the 224 car, and struggling with that carousel a little bit. It seems like his flexies here now. I don't know if that's a preferred line for the driver into that corner, maybe he knows something we don't, or if it's just a lag making it look like that he's struggling in the carousel a little bit. I'm not 100% sure, to be straight honest with you, but it does appear that the 224 car is struggling in that particular corner of the racetrack right now, and it has already caused him one large problem here in the race this afternoon, evening, or morning, depending where you're watching from. The 111 car here, you know, what's the game plan? What's going on in this garage right now? You know, they just had this huge moment on the racetrack with the guy that they've been chasing for hours around this racetrack, and all of a sudden that gap has shrunk to the closest it's been for hours. What's going through the mind of the 111 camp right now? I mean, what's going through the racer's mind right now behind the wheel? Regardless of what the team is telling him right now, you know, what is he thinking? You know, is he hammering that pedal down just a little bit harder, a little bit sooner? Is he braking just a little bit later? You know, what is going on in his mind here right now as he tries to chase down Flexi's and the NWR Motorsport Ferrari here? I can't even imagine what's going through the minds of these guys right now and these teams right now after that moment on the racetrack. We've got the number one car, our defending champions, here in third place at 4 minutes in behind that battle for the top of the podium. Probably not going to see that happen most likely, but he is looking like he's sitting very strong here in third place, and a good solid 30-second gap to the 73 car in behind here. I think that's almost 40 seconds, pardon me. So he's really just got to maintain a good, solid, consistent pace around the racetrack here and not make a mistake. Alright, Elite Racing Squad here. Alex in behind the wheel here for the 73 car to finish things off here today as well. And a tall order to try and catch up to a world champion here in Mehdi Hafidi in the number one car up ahead, but definitely on track and up to the task here is Alex with a 40-second gap. Let's see what he can do with it as he tries to chase down one of the world champions here on the racetrack in the final 2 hours of the race here. And we have a few world champions here in this championship series this season, and definitely a couple on the racetrack here right now trying to secure their positions for the racing teams here on the racetrack today. So it is Michi here for the 303 Feel Good Racing team here right now, and fifth place for these guys, and hopefully they're not feeling too disappointed here because this race isn't over yet, but they've got a really good strong showing here today as well. You know, they've been sitting on the podium, they've been as far up as third place for sure here in the race. They're currently sitting in fifth, so still sitting in a good position here. Minute 28 in behind the 73 car, and they got 20 seconds to get on the 27 car. But I've seen that 27 car all of a sudden just kick up a notch out of nowhere and shred down gaps. So we'll be keeping our eye on this number 27 in front of Motorsports BMW here as well. And again, another high caliber driver behind the wheel here right now on this racetrack in this final run to the checkered flag here. So I mean, the teams have pulled out all the stops and put in the top dogs in behind the wheels of these racing cars to finish this race off. And I guess we'll see what they can do with it now at this point. I'm sure every driver's giving it 115% right now behind the wheel. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I can't even start to begin to process or think like these drivers do around the racetrack here. That's obviously what separates their S ratings and their A+ ratings from my measly little low A rating in the game here. I mean, they're just in a whole different class. So trying to think like these guys is extremely difficult when you don't understand the concept of the game like these guys do. So makes them the best, and that's why we get to see some blazing fast laps and some great racing action here at the IRO this season, because well, we're all being schooled essentially by the best in the business. We love it. Alright, so number 20 car here from Project 1 Racing. Moving and grooving, Jake behind the wheel of this car as well. And very quick driver here. 27 seconds is the gap to that 27 car. It's kind of just sitting still right there right now. And again, no pressure from behind right now. Doesn't need to worry about what's happening with that number 54 car. What he needs to worry about is trying to see if he can cut into that 27-second gap. As the timer continues to tick down, pressure starts to fall on the drivers a little bit to try and make something happen. But with the gaps being the way they are, a lot of these drivers and a lot of these teams probably realize it is what it is at this point, but if we can get more, perfect. That's just bonus at this point. So again, team strategies, I'm not sure what the is going between each team's mind right now, who's sending it and who's just sticking to the plan. Maybe they're all just sticking to the plan right now, but I can guarantee you one team that's not sticking to the plan right now is probably that 224 car. Plan might have got tossed a little bit upside down there, so I'm sure that the plan has slightly changed for the 224 team there. And with that being said, I'm sure that the 111 car has probably had a brief discussion about what they need to do now over the next 90 minutes or so. Oof, track limit penalty here for the number 7 car as they come around. But I mean, at this point, just get this car home, take the checkered flag, put it in the truck, and let's focus on number 6. You just gotta shake it off. QRT Esports here in 11th position currently right now, 42 seconds in behind the number 7 car. And we got 3 minutes and 10 seconds to get over the number 4 Portugal All-Stars Racing Ferrari. We got blue flag being waved here for the number 4 car. Third place team here, the number 1 car is actually closing in right now. Actually a really great spot for the blue flag to happen here for the number 1 team, as it's on this huge massive back straight. So he's just going to use slipstream here, close in on the backside of the number 4 car, and the number 4 car probably doesn't even really need to do anything here. But just continue to provide slipstream to the number 1 car, make sure he's got space coming into the braking zone here, and blue flag position done, and 0 time loss there, I think, to either one of those 2 drivers in those situations. So I mean, perfect timing for the number 1 car to run into that blue flag situation, in my opinion. And I think it was great for the number 4 car as well, because again, they didn't have to give up a bunch of time to give that 3rd place car that position. So that worked out well, if I gotta say so myself. Sometimes timing is everything. Alright, 224 car gap is now 32 seconds, so the 111 team is starting to press a little bit. They've knocked 3 seconds off the gap since the pit stop made by the 224 car here. And I mean, it's going to be game on now. It is going to be game on now here, I think. We're not going to stick with the 220 car for too entirely long, because I imagine it's probably not comfortable to watch the computer like that, so I apologize to the NWR Motorsports team. We'll obviously watch the race later as much as we can, but for the sake of our viewers, the car's bouncing pretty bad back and forth on this track, so. Alright, just a quick look down to one of the teams there as a request from one of the gentlemen in the chat there. Obviously try to do the best we can for the teams when they ask us to see where their drivers at real quick. He's looking for maybe timing information or something like that as well. So we definitely just jump randomly sometimes. So while you hear the viewers wondering where we just randomly jump to the 11th place driver there. Again, just request in the chat there from one of the team members from QRT Esports. There's a 224 car here is looking good. 32.5-second gap right now is the difference between himself and second place. And again, just try and give him as much camera time as we can. But I know that I'm saying back and forth is a little bit hard to watch and listen to. So we'll try to balance it the best we can for our viewers here as well. Flush of adrenaline maybe for these guys too, right? After all that craziness just happened in front of them a couple laps ago. So I mean, again, they got nothing to worry about behind them right now. I mean, second place is locked and stocked for these guys, and the bigger question is that going to be where they finish, or is there still a shot at the race win here today for them as well? Blue and purple Porsche is flying. Blue, purple, black, I suppose. The number 4 car was doing a decent job at staying fairly close to the number 1 car there, but now the number 4 car is starting to fall off the pace a little bit, and that's unfortunate too, because the number 4 car could have just tucked in behind him, or maybe he could have, closed up on the 64 car QRT. If he would have been able to stay tucked in there, but obviously that is a little bit of a tall order to try and sit on the rear bumper of this gentleman here in London right now, but not impossible. Definitely not impossible. Lots of people out there, lots of drivers out there that can do it. Car 303 Porsche, minute 25 right now to 4th place, and 20 seconds here to the 27 car. 27 car closing in here on the 303 car. So again, the 27 car doing 27 car things here right now. That BMW is putting some stock in and trying to get that position here before the end of this race. Number 20 Project One Racing car is 28 seconds in behind the 27 car. Give and take right now between those two in a sense. And a minute and a half in ahead of the 54 My Team Esports Porsche. 2 minutes and 19 seconds in behind them. So they're chilling right now. They're just bringing the car on essentially. But there is a chance for position gain up in front here still as well. So we've already seen a 1 minute time loss from one of the drivers in this stint. Entirely possible for it to happen to anybody else as well. Alright, our number 7 car here is moving. QRT Esports here now. It's going to give a couple of minutes to each of the cars. What's up, Mark? Will P3 be ERA's highest finish of the season? We're really testing my brain now, aren't we? I feel like they might have got a P2 in round 1 and round 2. They might have actually won. No, I think they got a P2. Ray, you want to step in on that? One of the ERA drivers want to comment on that. I think it's a P2 in round 2 or round 1 of the championship season, and then they had another strong race right after that, if I'm not mistaken, and then the last 2 rounds have been mid-pack finishes here for the number 1 cars, so they're definitely not sitting where they want to be sitting, or ideally would want to be sitting at this point in the season as defending champions, so they definitely are needing and looking for a podium finish here today for sure. That much I can definitely educatedly say. And oh my goodness, some damage here for the number 4 car. They're going to come in, replace that front nose clip there, and it just goes from bad to worse sometimes for some of the drivers. But you know what? That's all right. They got lots of body parts here at Gran Turismo 7 Garage for our racers to fix these cars up and get them back out on the racetrack. And nose going down. I mean, it is what it is. Front clip has to be changed. They're very quick to change on these cars, thankfully. And the number 4 car back out moving and grooving already by now. Making my brain work too much at this time in the morning, man. Alright, Feel Good Racing Team has opened the gap up a little bit more back on the 27 car here. Jake is chipping away at the 27 car here. Technically, we finished 3 races in P3 so far. There we go. Thank you, Ray, for the clarification. I wasn't 100% sure on that one. Alright, QRT Esports here. We're just trying to give some love to all the cars right now. We don't have any battles brewing, so we're just trying to give some good camera time to all the teams here. Consistently podium ankle nippers, yeah, but it's keeping you in the fight. I mean, P3 finishes are still keeping the number 1 car in a discussion, right? So, it could be worse. It could be worse. My brain's just not 100% there this weekend. Again, I've just been super busy this weekend. I've got a 24-hour event here with IRO, and I've got roughly about 14 hours of tournament battling in a mobile tournament I'm in as well. So, and I'm also trying to make videos for when I'm away in July on holidays as well for the page. So it has been a crazy busy weekend. My brain is just absolutely cooked at this point, I think. Cooked. Cooked, I tell you, cooked. We're just washed. It's okay. Bathurst has been our only fly anyway, with P9, P10. dude. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, so minute 9 is now the gap between first and second place. That is due to a pit stop from the 111 car here. The scheduled pit stop here by the looks of it. And we're going to see the number 1 car do much of the same thing here shortly once they complete their lap. I think we're going to be seeing a series of pit stop sequences here at the end of this lap as it goes to the field real quick. And that's definitely going to be the case for not quite all drivers, maybe? If all the drivers were on the lead lap, everybody would be in the same position except for maybe QRT and Portugal All-Stars. They seem to have just a little bit more fuel, even though they're a couple laps behind, so... Well, it just goes to show on how tough endurance racing really is. I mean, really, when you think about it, I mean, the Overboost Racing team from Season 1 absolutely dominated the first championship season. I mean, they were untouchable. And there wasn't anybody out there that was going to do anything about the season that they had in Season number 1. And then, you know, more teams came in, the competition stepped up a little bit, and then, I mean, the Overboost Racing team was more than capable of being up to the task, but they just had a rough start to the season, and it just kind of spiraled downhill for them. And sometimes that's just the way it goes. And, you know, you can't stress about things you can't control, right? I mean, you can't control the outcome of a race. You can do everything you can to try and control the outcome of a race, but at the end of the day, it's something that's beyond your control. You can only do what you can do, right? So, yeah, I mean, definitely ERA is in a little bit of a better position than the Overboost Racing team. They're defending their championship from Season 1 to Season 2, coming from Season 2 to Season 3 right now, but we're only halfway through the season. There's still a lot of season left to go yet as well, so, anything can happen. You never know. It could all fall apart for number 1 car, or they could just all of a sudden start really popping in, you know, some of their best performances. I mean, it's entirely hard to say. See, they got a couple of ringers on the team here right now, so that's definitely going to help their chances. Just saying. Yep. And I mean, I think that is a fair expectation. A realistic expectation, right? You're overachieving then. Hey man, racing is big business. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. The thing is, they're not removing drivers from the roster to put drivers into the roster. They're just adding drivers to the roster, essentially, right? I mean, we're still seeing the ERA drivers all come out and compete like they do every weekend. So, I mean, they're just bolstering the roster, essentially. And within their rights to do so, like every other team has the same right to do so. So, some teams just came in with a big hitter lineup right off the bat, you know? You need people to stop having jobs and babies? Yeah, I bet, Ray, I bet. People just need to stop living real life and focus on sim racing, right? Sim racing is life. Come on now. Stop buying PCs. Sorry. Yeah. I feel like that comment's slightly directed towards me a little bit there. And, you know, it happens. I know your racers are playing iRacing and that too. I get it. But you know, it's a good. There's lots of variety out there now. That's the problem, right? I mean, there's variety out there right now. So, you know, kids are gonna be kids, and they're gonna go check the grass, how green the grass is on every side, right? They gotta go and check everybody's lawn out, man. Yeah, you know, that's just the way it goes. might not be the men necessarily having babies per se in a physical sense, but you know, they're still a part of that whole family process. So yeah, that means that it's taking time away from sim racing. Absolutely. Oh, and car crashes. Yeah, well, again, things that you can't really control in life, right? As long as everybody's okay, that's really what's more important in that situation. Gotta wait a year for it to come to console, and then wait probably another year for them to refine it and optimize it properly for the console. They're definitely gonna run into some complications there. Yeah, life is tough. Life is tough. But I tell you what, he has a great support. He has a great support family in behind him with the sim racing community. That much I can definitely tell you. Obviously, not knowing the situation, not having to not prying into the situation, because it's really not any of our business. We just hope the best for him and his family, and hope that everybody gets better. I mean, that's all we can do. Show that support, be there when we need to be there. Alright. These drivers are doing a terrible job of closing these gaps. I'm just saying, do better. I'm kidding. But seriously, no. I mean, the 224 team decided to make it interesting for us, right? They decided to throw the car into the wall once there for us, so I mean, that was exciting. Yeah, I find that there's going to be many complications with cross-platform on a sim racing game with PC going to Xbox and PlayStation. Now, I don't see the cross-compatibility issue as much with the Xbox as I do with the PlayStation, because PlayStation is a bunch of bumheads and don't want to see the light of day that PC is where the market is, and they should really collaborate, right? You know, Sony is Sony at the end of the day, I guess. So, you know, when PlayStation finally pulls their nose out of the air and realizes that they need to get with the times, is when cross compatibility with PC will work much better on PlayStation. That's just my opinion, obviously, but in the past, I haven't seen great success with PlayStation games being compatible with PC games. I mean, very few PlayStation games have made that work properly. And that's just because PlayStation doesn't have a PC platform that's compatible with it like the Xbox does with Microsoft, right? So, it's going to be much like ACC, where it's going to be a console version and a PC version possibly. I mean, and I think that might just be what it's going to be. Only if you say please. Exactly, it's Sony. Pit stop. I'm assuming a pit stop, right? Hold on. Absolutely a pit stop. QRT didn't need to make a pit stop. They are on a very much different strategy than the 7 car was. So I kind of expected to see that this was going to happen actually. And QRT Esports now up into 10th position here, only 1.8 seconds ahead of the number 7 car though. But we will see the number 7 cars go back up into 10th place because at some point the QRT Esports team is going to have to make that pit stop. But definitely an alternative strategy coming from the QRT team here, and that is definitely why the 7 car is sitting in 11th place right now due to a pit stop. I'm not saying that they're going to make Gran Turismo cross-compatible with PC. Obviously, that would be really nice. It would be a game changer, and I think it would really open the market for GT7, for Gran Turismo as a franchise to be compatible with PC or have a PC version of the game. I think they'd realize very quickly that there's a massive market for it, and they'll probably make more money. But who knows? You know, maybe they won't. But I don't foresee that ever happening. And GT will always stay exclusive to PlayStation. I think that's just the way it's going to be. Anyway, for as long as Kaz has anything to say about it, most likely anyways. I just, in my experience of gaming, PlayStation doesn't cross-compatible with PC well. It just doesn't. It can't perform the same way. True. It has nothing to do with hacking. It's just the fact that Sony owns the exclusive rights to the franchise. I mean, there's a business deal that goes on between Sony and Gran Turismo, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. There's a contract, and that contract's been there for 27, 28 years now. So I guarantee you, Sony has absolutely zero intentions on making Gran Turismo compatible to a PC. I just don't see it. I mean, with any PC game, you have to deal with mods, right? Hacks, whatever you want to call it, cheats. That's just the reality of PC gaming, unfortunately. I mean, maybe. No, I agree. I think it would be good to go into a deeper market. I really do. What's up, JP? How you doing, brother? How's it going, Addy? Oh, for sure. You know that GTE's not coming out about anything but the new console. That was the plan with GT7 originally, right? It was a PlayStation 5 exclusive. It was only going to be for the PlayStation 5 console. That's how they were going to sell PlayStation 5 consoles, because you could only get the new Gran Turismo 7 game on a, it was a big marketing ploy. It just blew up in their face because COVID kicked in. So I fully expect to see that GT8's only going to be playable on a PS6. That's exactly how I foresee it. I'm thinking either a disconnect or an accident that required an extra pit stop. I don't actually know what happened to FGR. Again, I've been super busy this weekend, so typically where I watch the whole race, so I actually know what's going on for the whole race, I've watched a very little race this weekend. I haven't had time. So I'm not sure. Some of the fans will have to, and the viewers will have to elaborate a little more for me on that, because I'm just not sure. Full Stint DC in 9, a bit of a howler in Stint 11. Roger that. So just a rough Stint 11. I know about the DC in 9. We do need a Sport 2.0. You're not wrong. I think. I mean, Gran Turismo stayed true to what Gran Turismo is with GT7. They still brought that big solo player part of the game that you expect from a Gran Turismo title, right? But with the success of GT Sport and with how finely refined that they had GT Sport, I guess we fully would have expected them to come out with a GT Sport version 2.0 for this part of the game, but you know, that wasn't the case. You know, I'm sure that they have gotten a massive amount of feedback in the 5 years that this game's now been released, so 4 years or whatever it is now. Hopefully they take some of it to heart. Because I know I'm seeing the regression of the Gran Turismo game now, especially the competitive side of it. I'm seeing the numbers of leagues dropping, I'm seeing the number of races dropping, I'm seeing the number of live streams that are created for GT7 dropping on a regular basis. The game's getting a little bit stale, right? We have great championship racing all over the spectrum, but I mean, I'm also one of those players currently that's in that situation where it's gone stale for me. I just don't have the desire to hook my wheel up and race anymore. But I still love to do my commentary. I still love to watch the racing, and I still love to see the leagues that go on, right? So, you know, it's gone stale for me in one sense, but it's still very exciting for me in another sense. But I think that's kind of a general consensus right now. Is it's just there hasn't been a lot of significant changes to the game over the last couple of years, and that's creating boredom within the community, right? Yeah, the problem with the FIA element now is that the FIA pulled the contract and moved it over to ACC. I mean, nothing you can do about that. That's just sheer business. Irregardless of what the fans want or what the players want there, I mean, that's business. And the FIA didn't obviously see a big enough future in GT7 compared to what ACC can bring them. So they made a business decision. I think if it wasn't for that sole reason, I think the FIA would still be involved with GT. And I mean, I think that they've done an alright job of responding to that with GT7. I mean, you know, they just headmanned it and took it upon themselves to handle it right on a world scale. So I mean, is it a regression? I don't think it's a regression. I think that all it's done is taken a third party out of the equation, and Gran Turismo gets to basically put the world events on how they want to see it happen, not opposed to how a racing body wants to see it happen. I'm not saying it's better, I'm not saying it's worse that way, but you know, business is business at the end of the day, right? And I mean, at least it gives the Gran Turismo franchise the creativity to do it how they want to do it without having that sanctioned body, because the sanctioned racing body dictates on how you're going to run that, and that means that you're giving away some control or some form of control over your competitive market or your competitive side of the game as well, right? So is it better? Is it worse? I'm unsure. I don't compete on that level, obviously, so I can't really properly say, but I know there's lots of guys that can probably weigh in better. It is a car collector game. We were spoiled for sports, you're not wrong. Probably the difference is the casual player base is the player base that makes the game money. So, you know, the casual players are the ones that are spending $70 to buy the game, even 5 years later, right? Because, you know, your kid wants it all of a sudden because he's seen his buddy playing and it was fun. So mom and dad have to go spend $70 to buy it for it, right? That's why it's more based on casual players, because the bigger money market is on the casual player base. I mean, that's just the plain and simple truth to it. I mean, you can sit here and argue, and myself as a content creator can definitely sit here and argue and say, well, you know, the competitive side is important and it's making lots of money because the content creators are pushing it and there's lots of content out there. Yes, but the content creators are making the money, not Gran Turismo. So it's not doing the game itself any good, it's doing the creators good, right? So it's a two-sided argument in my opinion. It really is. There is no battle for P10. Sector 7 is ahead by 3.5 seconds. We definitely missed it. We're having a very constructive conversation here and missed a battle on the racetrack. Look at us go. We missed it, man. We missed it. It looks like number 4 car has potentially retired the car here this weekend as well. I've seen the car sitting in pit lane here for a few minutes now, so that does indicate that it looks like our number 4 team has called it a racing weekend. You're welcome, Shadow. I'm just giving you a hard time, brother. They need to make a sim where we get paid to race. I could have just imagined how much that sim would cost you if we got paid to race. iRacing is one of the biggest sim racing markets, and it is the biggest sim racing market in the game, and they don't pay anybody to race. They charge you to race. So good luck with that. Let me know how that goes, my man. When you find that game, hit me up. I'll be the first one there with you. GT4, in my opinion, was a pretty sweet game. I enjoyed 4. I enjoyed 5 as well, though. Did not enjoy 6. I was not a big fan of 6. The 6 felt like a filler game. It didn't have a whole lot put into it. It didn't have a lot of effort put into it. And the game itself wasn't really all that difficult, in my opinion, 6. So, probably the least amount of hours out of all the Gran Turismo games I have is on 6, without a question of a doubt. Yeah, GT3, that makes sense, yeah. Well, that's when the B-Spec came out, right? So, you know, you could race the races, and then you could have control the computer to race the races. I mean, and there was just thousands of hours of content in GT3. I'm pretty sure I had about 10,000 hours on that game by the time it was all said and done. It was insane how many hours I had on that game. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed 4. I really did. I really did. It was. GT6 was very weak. I mean, GT7's not a weak game. I mean, we're not sitting here trashing and knocking GT7. You know, we're all just kind of wish we'd seen it done differently, I suppose, now in the grand scheme of things. I mean, we're consumers. We're never happy at the end of the day, right? I mean, let's just be real about it. All right, so our race leader here recapped the race a little bit here. So he was talking nonsense for the last 15-20 minutes or so here. Not nonsense, important GT business, but back to the IRO business here in the race at hand. 54 seconds is the gap from the race leader to our 111. Porsche here, second place, 4 minutes 17 seconds ahead of the number 1 esports race on Porsche here. They've got a minute 10 to the good now over the 73 Elite Racing Squad car, and they've got a minute 14 over the 303 Feel Good Racing Porsche. So nothing really changing right there. Some of the gaps are growing instead of shrinking in a sense. And then we've got the number 27 Inferno Motorsports car 28 seconds in behind the 303 car, so that gap is just kind of staying constant at this point right now, and I believe that he just got lapped by the race leader there as well. The number 20 Project 1 Racing Porsche, spit it out, Ghost, is 18 seconds in behind. That just said 28. I swear to God, I need to get my eyes checked this week. I swear. 18 seconds is the gap. So closing in, I think, is the 20 car here on the 27 car. I'm a minute and a half in behind, so no stressing in behind him here right now. That leaves us with the 54 car. My team, Esports. Holy had a brain fart. I told you my brain shutting off today. They're in no man's land right now. They're just coming up in behind QRT Esports 64 Porsche, which would put them essentially a lap down to that car if they can manage to get around. Then we've got the GT Finland Racing Porsche, the 66 car, sitting in 9th place, and much of the same thing in no man's land. All these guys are kind of in no man's land at this point. We do have the number 7 Sector 7 Racing Porsche, and oh my, a little bit of a mistake made there from our Sector 7 Racing car there, and the gap is 7.3 seconds to the QRT car here in 11th place. So potentially a battle still to brew here for 10th place in the race here for sure. With the rest, I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and find out. Well, there was hints or teases of a B-spec mode when last year's World Final started, and then we haven't heard diddly squat about it since, so I guess they scrapped that project, maybe? I'm not sure. We are burning through the laps here in this final stint right now. It is lap 10 of 16 already. That is leaving us with roughly about 48 to 50 minutes left of the race here. Is the video looking just slightly off on the stream right now too? Or is it just the way it looks on my phone right now? I wonder, because I feel like we've lost a little bit of picture quality in the last two stints that we've been streaming here. Now, it could just be because the exposure setting didn't reset and it's lighter than it should be. But I feel like it's a little pixelated. Right now, and I don't know if it's just me or if that's what you guys and gals are seeing as well. If it is, I'm definitely not sure what the issue there is, but I'll have to look into it to have an idea if that's the case. Boy, that is some awfully pipe dreaming thinking, if I gotta say so myself, Mark. I keep wishing that that's what they're gonna give us for an update. My goodness. My goodness. I think you have better odds of winning the lottery than that happening from GT7 in the next update. I'm just saying. And then they probably put a price tag of $50 on that on top of it if they did try to release something like that. So the whole provide all the content for free for the player base no matter what that Gran Turismo has has always said over the last 27 years, it's just been a big fat lie because they literally dropped a paid DLC that is straight up just solo campaign DLC. So, I mean, even they're breaking their own business model at this point nowadays, so just gonna throw that one out there. I literally refuse to purchase that DLC because it's a pay-for DLC. I'm not even kidding. I mean, you can't really say that because you got to look at ACC on console. I mean, obviously it's fizzling out now, obviously because the PC version is just overrunning everything when it comes to ACC, but I mean, the PlayStation 4 version of ACC and the PlayStation 5 version of ACC still has a strong player base, and I mean, they don't seem to be too hot and bothered about having to set their cars up for the races if they want to be more on par. So I don't think that's fully a problem, especially with things like Coach Dave Academy and all these third-party websites that literally supply that stuff to people. And well, we all know that people like to spend money on absolutely for no reason on things that they shouldn't spend money on. So, I mean, they're going to spend money on the setups anyways. So, I don't think that that's so much the problem. I know even when I played ACC, I'm not a setup guru by any stretch of the imagination. The basics of what everything kind of did to the car on ACC. I would even just kind of tweak my own tunes. Obviously, it wouldn't make them, podium competitive, but it would definitely make it better than the stock version of the car. So I don't think that that's necessarily a problem. I really don't. I see that being a problem for the casual players, having to do tuning and setups and stuff like that just to play. That I see being a problem. For a real true competitive racer, I think having to have a tune for your car to compete is not really a deal breaker for most true competitive racers. I really don't. Alright, so the 111 car is starting to close the gap back up a little bit here to our race leader. It was a little over a minute, now it's back down to 40. It was at 54 seconds, now it's down to 49 seconds, so 5 seconds gain here over. And that's the conversation we've been having here. Let's keep ripping through the field here. Let's see if anything has really changed too much. I mean, the 20 car is closing in on the 27 car here. The gap's down to 16 seconds there. Pit stop transition, I think, here for the QRT Esports team, so that it puts them almost 50 seconds in behind the number 7 car, but the number 7 car is going to be making a pit stop relatively soon here, it looks like, so going to be within 10-15 seconds, I think, that gap between the 7 and the 64 car. And again, it does appear that our number 4 Portugal All-Star Ferrari has retired the car here at the end of the day, so unfortunate there, but 11 car is still rolling on the racetrack. I'd pay it. I didn't see that comment. Chill out underneath the cars here for a minute. race around a little bit just to wake the eyes back up a smidge. We are tired, chat. We are definitely tired today, but we're definitely doing much better. This time around than we were in stint number 10. We have a little bit of pep in our step here, so to speak. And the sun's coming back up, so that helps a little bit too. Can you keep looking at P10 for a minute? Hold on. No. Why? There's nothing going on there at the moment. They're gonna make a pit stop. That'll put you within 10-15 seconds. Depending on how long your stop is, of course. But there's no battle there. No battles. Definitely gonna be making a stop soon. No, yeah, I'm not, we'll get back to the 10 car. I'm just gonna sit on each car here for about a minute for each one here. We're not gonna miss anything dramatic here, I don't think, over the next couple minutes here. Just showing the love through the field, you know? A little less love for the laggy car, however, though. Just because I know that it's going, you know? I get it, I get it. Maybe see that next set of pit stops coming here. That whole sequence is coming for sure within the next lap or two here from the field as well. Which will take us to the end of the race, most likely. The FGR team's taking about 10 seconds out of the 73 car, I think, here in this stint. But obviously with about 40 minutes left on the clock here, time is definitely against all the teams here at this point. So what surprised me in this race was no one used mediums to extend a stint, so in theory you could jump places over time. You're wrong. You're absolutely 100% wrong, Rapid. There has been teams that have used mediums to extend a stint to save a pit stop so far in the race. I believe it was the 111 car did it in stint number 10, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm pretty sure the 224 car also did it in stint number 6 as well when I was broadcasting. So we have actually seen that strategy played out here today. We got Jake here as well, the number 20 car. We're just kind of going to, just like I said, we're going to sit on everybody for a minute here. We have pit stop sequences coming, so we'll have to keep that in mind with just chilling with each of our drivers here. We do like to try and give camera time to all the racers. I know that obviously the battling cars and the front cars get a little more camera time typically, but we do try our best to spread the love to all the teams where we can when we can. And obviously we got some good gaps on the finish of the race here right now, so this is a great time to just kind of chill on each car and give each team a little bit of love, even when they don't want us to be looking in moments like that. I'm sure a very tense moment right there for the 54 my team esports car there. Got a little bit off track there and got a little bit sideways, as Nolander would call it, in the grass, and somehow managed to keep it out of damage and enough out of trouble to not wreck the car there. So it was a tense moment right there for the 54 car. Yeah, it was one of the night stints that I seen mediums extended. I believe it was a 224 car that did it in that stint. And then we seen, like I said, we seen just in stint number 10 there, one team also, would say a 111 car, extended in the stint to try and save a pit stop to gain time as well. So I've seen it a couple of times in my broadcasting stints. I don't know if it's happened more throughout the race or not, but you were sleeping. See, there you go. There you go. The one that you missed. So was I in stint 10. What are you talking about? Alright, so they're just filling that car up here right now. We'll stick with the number 7 car here for a little bit here once it comes out of pit lane as well. And then we'll jump over to the QRT car here in 11th. See what that gap drops down to. I figured about 10 to 15 seconds. It's actually a little bit less than that. It is a 5.5 second gap. Oh wow, alright, so that is a good solid 40-second pit stop. Goodness gracious, my friend. It's too early in the morning for that. And none of it is important. Go figure. is closing in on number 7 car here right now. Gap is just under 3 seconds at this point, so we're going to stick with this here for a minute, or 2, or 3, or a few. I think by the QRT driver, that actually cost him a half a second there, so he's still pushing though. Still locked right now, 2.5 seconds at the moment. So it looks like the number 7 car is like, oh, I see. Okay, well, then I raise you the same pace. I may be doing 24-hour Nurburgring solo in a few weeks' time for the second time. Must be mad. Sounds like it. I have a hard time hitting. I hit that like 20 to 24-hour mark, and it's just like I'm dead. My brain just wants to shut off. I have a hard time keeping it all together. And then once I get past that 24-hour mark, it's like third wind kicks in and I'm just wide awake again. I'm kind of at that point right now where I'm just kind of fighting that urge to just let the eyes close a little bit, you know? So, yeah, right in that window where it seems to be toughest for me to stay awake. I try to plan it so I hit that window when I'm not doing a commentary stint, when I'm not doing commentary, so I can kind of pass that window, but yeah, that hasn't worked today just because it's a 24-hour race. There's no time to set that window, so to speak. Last time was Group 4. Can't seem to get that gap any tighter than 2.5 seconds right now. He's been trying so hard here in the 64 car to close that gap up just a little bit more on the number 7 car there, but currently not an answer, so we're going to head back up front here for a minute. Take a look through our field here a little bit. 45 seconds is the gap from first to second place. Moving down to the field here. We have second place with 4.5 minutes. Third place is the one really stressing behind. The goal was to try and catch up to lap 13. Yeah, he's running out of time. He's got 25 minutes. Call it 30, depending. Yeah, call it 30 right there on the racetrack. Not quite. Car currently sitting in third place here on the racetrack as well. 73 car sitting in fourth place, and it is the 303 car in fifth place. It was catching up, but that has changed since. That just switched. I switched just before you put it in the chat, JP. Across the start finish line. I'm not sure how it works for the clock. It'll just keep it on ERA then. But they're not winning the race though. That was sketchy. A little bit of sketchy entry from 111. See, now we're gonna miss that battle because I moved. That's the way it always goes. Nope, still half a second. I have no idea, JP. That's a good question. The 111 car is leading the championship. I'm not sure now. I have not even gone to look this weekend yet. I haven't even thought about it actually. Spend too much time even trying to find it. Yeah, I'm trying to keep an eye on the battle here for 10th place too, because I mean it's the only battle that we have so far the whole stint. So we missed it the first time around. Battle in soon, and then I'll do it. Roughly. Yeah, the 64 car took a look on the outside there, but it was covered up quite quickly there by the number 7 car. So we're going to go up the inside here now. And a little bit of a touch between the two cars there. I don't think that was intentional. Obviously, as we continue on, fastest lap entire race, still 58.4. I think it was a 59.4. AMS is retired for the season, I think, so. Is it them? May not be AMS. trying to keep an eye on the leader and the battle at the same time. Alright, race leaders are now officially on the final lap here. And 43-second gap, so did a pretty good job of managing that gap after the mistake there early on in the stint as well. Penalty for that number 1 car. Alright, let's see if QRT can get the job done here. Essentially, they have a lap to get this done here now if they want to get this position on the number 7 cars. So it is game on here for the 64 and the 7 car right now as they head up the back straight. Looks like the 7 car got a good run. And we'll see if the 64 car can get enough of a slipstream here. I don't think so. The second racing car there. Pit stop. No. That wasn't ideal, now was it? QRT, they're looking to try and get a position and had to make a pit stop there? Ah, that is rough. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I love spoons, but it's all fine. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Right, so there's a potential battle. No, I wouldn't say too far yet. You never know. All it takes is one little wiggle in the corner, right? I just gotta keep my eye on later here too, that's all. I mean, 4.7 seconds, that was what, like 30 seconds at the beginning of the stint, so, I mean, the 27 car did a great job there closing in. You never know. Possibilities there. All depends when the 224 cross start finish line, basically. Straight and 4 corners to go here for the 224 car. I still wish NWR would move their number board. 224 already celebrating here as he's moving side to side of the back straight there. I mean, a hard-fought victory here for the 224 car today. They led the race for like 14 or 15 hours of the race. They definitely made it interesting at the beginning of the stint here, but they locked it in and brought it home here. So congratulations to the NWR Ferrari here, the 224 car. Just a couple of corners left to go, and it's going to be checkered flag. Yeah, me too, Ray. I feel ya. It's not over for me yet, though. Alright, so it is a race victory here for the 224 NWR Motorsport Ferrari here at the 24 Hours of Nurb in our 2026 championship season. And it's going to be the triple one car here to bring it home in second place. Great race here from the 111, but no response for that 224 car here today. And you know, the funny thing is that it's the only team here this season that has yet to switch their car this season. Every other team in the grid has made a car swap this season, except for the 24-hour Nurburgring winners here this season. They have stuck with the car that they selected at the beginning of the season, and it brings them to victory lane at probably the biggest race of the season here, the 24 hours Nurburgring as well. So congratulations to the 224 car. We've got P1R Jake and 20 car coming across in 6th place there. We have Info Motorsports and the 27 car coming in across in 7th place there as well. We are going to see who the final sitter here, though. It is the number 1 car here, the Sports Races out of Porsche, bringing it home in that final podium spot here again this weekend, and minute 37 ahead of that number 73 being oh my. Maybe he's trying to blow donuts in the middle of the racetrack before the race is over. I don't know, right? thought victory donuts are supposed to be done after you pass the start finish line at the end of the race, not before. And I thought only the leader gets to do the victory donuts here. Come on, what's going on here? So we do have the 54 car coming in 8th place there as well from my team esports. Just crossing the finish line there up ahead as well. He just wants to get the mechanics up to fix. Yeah, fair enough. Give him something to do in the off weeks. All right. And there we go. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I wasn't sure if the timer was going to go for a full lap or if it was just going to go to 3 minutes here. Again, GT7, you never know what you're going to get with it. Okay. But it is NWR here with the race victory here. So 224 Ferrari brings it home. And we're going to just leave it right there, actually. Great run from the 73 car there as well. So. All right, we're going to get rid of that. And grab that one. I hope they got the screenshots of the gaps for each car. Yeah, right. They'll have the replay. And the live stream has them kind of, sort of. Didn't really get through the whole field right at the end of the race there, I suppose, so it might be a little difficult to track it from the live stream, but nonetheless, congratulations to all of our racers here this weekend. 24 hours is no easy feat, especially the 24 hours of the Nurburgring. So, on behalf of the International Racing Organization, I'd like to congratulate our top 3 finishers: NWR Motorsports for first place. We have OVO Esports in second place, and we have the Esports Race Asylum team in third place. Of course, all unofficially until all that's made official post race and everything goes through the process. The drivers will have a window to file any incident reports, etc. If they feel like that needs to be done, then the stewards have to go and review all that. Then there's an appeals process if necessary. It does take a little bit of time, so we'll see official results in a couple of weeks. But unofficially here, it is an NWR victory here, and not Ferrari. And notable mentions, I mean, uh, shout out to Portugal for seeing it out. Hey, cheers, 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 cheers. Absolutely. I mean, I was just going to say that basically, right? You beat me to it. Irregardless of whether you had a good race or a bad race here today, we had 12 cars that started here today, and we had 12 cars that did make it all the way to the end here today. We did see the 4 car have to bring it into pit lane at the end of the race, but they did get to that 20, that final stint. So, I mean, all 12 teams that started did get into the end of the race here today, and that's a win all in itself. 24 hours at Nurburgring is no joke. It is by far one of the hardest races on the schedule this season, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the last half of the season, basically, at this point now. Okay, I was just going to go check something. Uh, Something in the chat made me think about it. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. I was going to do something, but I don't know what it was. Hmm. Completely slipped my mind what I was about to do. No, it wasn't season standings. Um, I don't know. I'm really tired. My brain's not functioning properly, apparently. It was right there, too. So, massive congratulations. I don't think we're going to see any teams coming into podiums. I mean, after a 24-hour race, I'm not really that surprised. And, I'm okay with going to bed myself as well. So, unfortunately, that's not the case. I have 10 hours of grinding I still got to do here yet today. But, um, thank you. Thank you to everybody that was in behind the scenes this weekend. My train of thought is just not quite there. I had this big thing I wanted to go through here, but first and foremost, it takes a massive team to handle just one of these races in a weekend. Never mind 10 throughout a championship season, especially to the caliber of a 24-hour championship race like this one at Nurburgring. It takes 12 race hosts. It takes 12 race directors. It takes 14 teams. It takes up to half a dozen commentators and a production manager or two. And it takes a lot of volunteer staff in behind the scenes doing everything that we don't see and don't ever hear happening. We have people behind the scenes calculating disconnect time gaps on the fly. We have people double checking that the pit stops were made correctly, make sure nobody jumped, make sure nobody left early, make sure blah 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 blah. We have stewards taking a look at things as things are happening as well in behind the scenes, plus all the mod staff in the Discord handling things in the Discord, all our moderators in the streamer chats as well. Thank you to everybody that makes this happen every racing weekend. And it's not just one weekend out of the month, it's 2 weekends out of the month that this happens, because we do have a second split that runs here as well at IRO. That's just not live broadcast. So not only are these amazing volunteers here at IRO doing it once for split one, what we get to see live on the stream, they're doing it twice every month for split for the racers and for the community as well. So huge thank you to all of the volunteers and staff and everybody that makes the wheels go around here at IRO, because we can't do it without you. The volunteers are the biggest heroes every racing weekend, and first and foremost, get the biggest shout out as always. So appreciate all of our volunteers. To the viewers, I mean, we can't do it without you guys too. You guys are the heart and soul of what happens here at IRO. We do it for all the guys and gals and all the kids out there worldwide that enjoy to watch a great sim race. And we really do appreciate your continued support and patronage here through all of the content creators platforms, but also the IRO platform. And we're hoping that in next month's race, we have a full value production broadcast rolling back on the IRO channel for you. We do have something in the background we're working on. Hopefully, we can get it fine tuned and rocking and rolling so we can get back to our normal production value and expectations here at IRO. Thank you to all the broadcasters coming in this weekend. That was a lot of coverage that needed to be taken care of. So, massive thank you to our commentators as always as well. And most importantly, thank you to the racing teams here. Been in the interview room for a while here. Doesn't look like anybody's. It's been an exhausting weekend. I'm not that surprised. So I think we're going to leave it at that. But great racing weekend. The 224 car was very dominant here this weekend. The MWR Motorsports Ferrari. It led the race for like 15 hours of the race. It was a very exciting start. A couple of teams had some very bad luck very early on. The 73 car dropped all the way down. I believe it was the 10th place after the first stint. Find themselves finishing 4th place here today. Great recovery drive from the 73 Elite Racing Squad here. We talk about the number 20 Project 1 Racing Team. I said at the beginning of the stream, don't count those guys out. I wasn't wrong. I mean, they went from 11th place up into P6 it was, I believe, or was it 6 or 7? Right there in the mid pack. I mean, they gained 4 or 5 positions as well from the back of the pack. And then we've also got the number 1 car. They were settled in that 9th, 8th place at the beginning of the race and end up finishing in the 3rd place on the podium. And a huge shout out to the 303 team. Feel Good Racing. It was a fantastic race for them there today as well. An unfortunate technical difficulty and a little bit of a bad stint set them back. And huge shout out to the number 7 team as well. The Sector 7 Racing team has had it probably the toughest this championship season with the technical difficulties and disconnects being set back in these races. And you know what? They just keep coming back. They keep putting that car on the track and they keep sending it as fast as they can. I swear up and down, ladies and gentlemen, that's a Sector 7 Racing team. That number 7 car has what it takes to compete for this championship. They just have the worst luck in the world when it comes to disconnections, and it is super unfortunate. I really do feel for them. But overall, I think it was a great racing weekend here from our racers and the International Racing Organization, and I just would like to say I hope we all enjoyed our 24 hours of Nurburgring 2026. And we'll be back. That's what I was going to go look at, JP. I was going to go look at the schedule. Haha. It just took me a hot minute to remember. For our next racing round, I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, so that's what I was looking for. Ooh, it's going to be Suzuka next. All right, so it's going to be the 8 hours of Suzuka in July. Congratulations to Nick. I know, right? That's funny. That's actually really, really great. Massive love to everybody. Appreciate y'all. Again, thank you for all the love here on my channel as well here at GT45 Gaming. I always appreciate the sim racing community coming and showing that love. We do love to do our commentary. It was a little bit lackluster in stint number 10. I apologize. But overall, great racing here today, and can't wait to see what Split 1 has in store for us at the 8 hours of Suzuka. A short little race at Suzuka, so it's going to be full send action at Suzuka. I think that's really going to change the way that race unfolds in July. And now that we're halfway through the season, the teams are going to be setting some goals in place, and we're going to be saying some teams probably taking some higher risks moving towards the end of the season to try and gain some ground in those championship point standings. So we'll have all this information way more prepared for you guys and gals next weekend, next race weekend, which is in about a month's time. And again, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Remember, the most important things in life are this: stay winning, you all matter, and we'll catch you on the next one.